Truth is a mercury shadow, fluid and elusive, shifting its shape just as you think you have finally caught it. Dive into our latest mystery, where nothing is as it seems, and everyone has a hidden agenda. Hit subscribe now and help us track the truth today.
Was I not his daughter too? That's the question I keep coming back to. Not in a dramatic made-for-TV way. Just quietly, at 2 in the morning, staring at my ceiling, turning it over like a smooth stone in my palm. Was I not his daughter too? My name is Lee. Wait, no, I've been called a lot of things in my family. The responsible one. The quiet one. The one who figured it out. My name is Sloane. No, I need to stop. Let me just start. My name is Ren. Okay, I'm doing it again. My name is Ada. I'm 31 years old. I'm a project manager at a mid-sized logistics company in Charlotte, North Carolina. I have a one-bedroom apartment that I pay for myself. I have a 401(a) that I contribute to every month. I have a rescue cat named Biscuit. No, wait, Biscuit's taken. My cat's name is Fig. She's orange and she ignores me and I love her. And for 6 years I quietly kept my family afloat while they quietly forgot I existed. Let me tell you how that works exactly. My parents divorced when I was 11. Not ugly, not dramatic, just slow and cold, the way a fiver goes out when nobody tends it. My dad remarried when I was 15. His new wife, I'll call her my stepmother, because that's what she is, had a son from her first marriage. My brother, technically, my stepbrother legally. In practice, the child my father actually raised with full attention and intention, because I was already in high school by then and basically an adult. That's a quote, by the way. You were basically an adult. My dad said that to me when I was 22 and brought up, carefully, gently, that I'd never felt like I fully belonged in his new family. He didn't say it meanly. He said it the way people say things when they want to close a door without admitting there's a door. My stepbrother, I'll call him my stepbrother throughout this, is 26 now. He's likable, genuinely. This isn't a story where the stepbrother is a villain. He just existed in the center of things the way some people do, through no fault of their own. My dad coached his baseball games. My dad went to his high school graduation. My dad flew to Boston when he got into grad school to celebrate over dinner at a nice restaurant. My dad sent me a congratulations text when I got my promotion last year, with a confetti emoji. I don't say that to sound pathetic. I say it because context matters. When my dad remarried, money got complicated in the way it always does when families reconstitute themselves around new people. My stepmom worked part-time. My stepbrother was still in school. My dad's income covered the basics, but just barely, and my dad has always been the kind of man who believes that asking for help is shameful, but accepting it quietly is fine. I got my first real job at 23. Entry level, nothing glamorous but enough, and then slowly the asks started. It started with my dad's car, a repair he couldn't cover, something with the transmission $1,600. Just until I get through this month, he said. I said yes. Of course I said yes. He's my dad. Then it was my stepmom's medical bill. She had a procedure. Insurance covered most of it, but not all of it. There was a gap of about $800. Could I? Just this once? I said yes. Then my stepbrother needed help with his security deposit when he moved off campus. Just $2,000 he'd pay me back. He didn't. That's not even the point anymore. Over 6 years I calculated it once, in a spreadsheet at midnight. The way you do when you're starting to suspect something but aren't ready to name it yet. $43,000. Not all at once, never all at once. Always in increments small enough that each one felt reasonable. Each one felt like love. Each one felt like what families do. Nobody ever said thank you in a way that stayed. I don't mean that they were openly rude. I mean, you know how some thank yous land like a hand on your shoulder, and some land like a receipt? Mine landed like receipts. I told myself it was fine. I told myself this is what you do. I told myself that being needed is a form of belonging. I was wrong about that last one. The call came on a Tuesday in October. I remember it was Tuesday because I was working late. I do that. I stay late and eat at my desk and listen to podcasts while I finish things other people push until tomorrow. My phone buzzed and it was my stepmother's name on the screen. She doesn't call me often. We're not close. We're polite, which is its own kind of distance. I wanted to let you know about the party, she said. She sounded careful, rehearsed almost. Your father's 60th birthday. We're doing something at the house. Just a small thing, family and close friends. I said, great, that sounds lovely. Should I bring anything? There was a pause. Oh, I mean, it's going to be pretty intimate, she said. We're keeping it really small. Honestly, it's more of a family thing. I didn't understand at first. I actually didn't understand what she was saying because it didn't compute. Because she was saying it to me, to my father's daughter. I'm sorry, I said slowly. Are you saying I'm not invited? Another pause. Longer this time. We just don't want it to be too overwhelming, she said. You know how your dad gets. We want it to be cozy. I think I said something like okay and got off the phone. I don't fully remember. I remember sitting in my office chair for a while after, in the quiet of the empty office, listening to the hum of the HVAC system. I remember thinking, she just called to tell me I'm not invited to my own father's birthday party. I remember thinking, I paid for their new water heater in March. I didn't cry. I want to be clear about that. Not because I'm tough, I'm not particularly, but because I think I was too confused to cry. The feeling wasn't sadness yet. It was more like standing in a room and realizing the floor is slightly tilted. And you don't know how long it's been that way, and you don't know why you didn't notice sooner. I called my sister, my half-sister, my dad's daughter from a brief relationship before he met my mom, so technically we share a father but grew up in different houses. But we've always been close, closer than most of the actual family I was raised around. She's 4 years older than me. She lives in Denver. She answers on the second ring. I told her what happened. She was quiet for a moment. Then she said, Ada, you need to stop paying for things. Not that's terrible. Not I can't believe her. Just that. Direct and clear, the way she always is, the way I've always both loved and slightly feared in her. I know, I said. Do you? She said. I didn't answer, she said. You have been their backup account for 6 years, and they just called you to personally tell you not to come to your own dad's birthday. That's not an accident, Adis, that's a message. I sat with that for a long time after we hung up. I want to tell you what I didn't do because I think it matters. I didn't call my dad, I thought about it. I wrote out what I would say in my notes app on my phone at 11 at night in my apartment with figs sitting on my feet. I wrote and deleted probably 4 versions. Every version ended with me explaining myself, justifying my feelings, trying to make him understand. Every version put me in the position of asking him to see me. And I realized, I have been asking him to see me for 20 years. Different ask, same question, same silence on the other end. I closed the Notes app. Instead, I did something I'd been thinking about for a while. I opened my laptop and I booked a flight to Asheville for the weekend of my dad's party. Not Paris. I'm not Paris money, and I wasn't trying to be dramatic. I booked a cabin rental in the mountains, a 2-night stay, a bottle of wine from the list I'd been saving in a notes folder called Someday. I made a reservation at a farm-to-table place that had been on my list for 2 years. Then I posted it on Instagram. Not with any caption about family or revenge or anything. Just the cabin at golden hour, the view of the Blue Ridge, a glass of something red on a wooden railing. October in the mountains. That's all it said. I want to be very honest. I wasn't thinking strategically. I wasn't thinking about what my family would see. I was genuinely just doing something for myself, maybe for the first time in a long time, and sharing it the way people share things when they feel good. What happened next was not something I planned. My cousin, my dad's nephew, someone I actually like, was at the birthday party. He saw my post. He showed my dad. I know this because my stepsister called me Sunday afternoon while I was driving back from Asheville with the windows down and a playlist going. My stepsister is my stepbrother's actual sister, older, lives in Raleigh, and she and I have always had a cautious, cordial relationship. She said, I just want you to know things got a little weird at the party. I said, what do you mean? She said. People kept asking where you were. Like multiple people. Your dad's college friends, your aunt, the neighbors. And then someone saw your Instagram and it kind of became a thing. What kind of thing? She paused. People were asking Dad why you weren't there, and he didn't really have a good answer. And then his sister, your aunt, she got kind of upset. She said she'd assumed you were invited and she felt weird about the whole thing. I didn't say anything. Your stepmom said you were just busy, she continued. But people had seen the post, so they knew you weren't busy, you just weren't there. I thanked her for telling me. She said she was sorry. I think she meant it. The call from my dad came Monday morning. I was at my desk, I let it go to voicemail. I don't think I was ready for his voice yet. Not because I was angry, exactly, but because I knew myself well enough to know that if he said the right things in the right tone, I would soften. I would understand. I would find a way to make his discomfort my problem to solve. That's what I do. That's what I've always done. I listened to the voicemail during lunch, headphones in, walking around the block. He said, "Hey Ada, it's Dad. I heard you went to the mountains this weekend. That sounds really nice. I wanted to check in. Give me a call when you get a chance." Nothing about the party. Nothing about why I wasn't there. Nothing that even acknowledged there was something to acknowledge. Just give me a call when you get a chance. I put my phone in my pocket and finished my walk. I ate my sandwich. I went back to work. My stepmom texted 2 days later. A long message, the kind that takes time to compose and reads like it was revised multiple times. She said she hoped I understood that the party was really meant to be intimate, that she hadn't meant to hurt my feelings, that she hoped I knew how much she cared about me as a part of the family. As a part of the family, I read that 3 times. I texted back 2 sentences. I said, "I appreciate you reaching out. I'm going to need some time and space right now." She replied with a heart emoji. I did not reply to that. Here is what happened with the money, because I know you're wondering. A month after the party, after I'd gone quiet, after my texts back had gotten shorter, after I'd declined 2 family dinners with vague excuses, my dad called again. This time I picked up. He asked how I was. I said fine. He asked about work. I said busy. Then there was a pause and he said, "Your stepmom mentioned that there might be something going on with you, that you seem a little distant." I said, "I've been thinking about some things." "Like what?" Here's the thing about conversations like this, the real one, the one you've been building toward for years. You can rehearse it 100 times and it never sounds the way you practiced. I didn't say all the things I'd written in my notes app. I didn't lay out the $43,000 like evidence at trial. I just said, "I've been thinking about how I show up for this family and how the family shows up for me. And I don't think those things are equal. I don't think they've been equal for a long time." He was quiet. "I love you, Dad," I said, "but I'm not going to keep being the person who funds things and gets left out of them. I'm not doing that anymore." More quiet. Then he said, "I didn't realize you felt that way." And I said, "I know, that's part of the problem." We got off the phone shortly after. No resolution, no dramatic moment, no apology. Just the truth, floating there in the air between us and both of us sitting with it. My stepbrother texted me the following week. He said he'd heard there was some drama and wanted me to know he was on my side. I appreciated that genuinely. I also recognized it as the text of someone who doesn't fully understand what happened but wants to be perceived as understanding it. I replied warmly and left it at that. My half-sister called from Denver. "How are you really?" she asked. "I'm okay," I said. "I think I'm genuinely okay." "Are you going to let it go?" I thought about that. "I'm going to let them figure out what they want from me," I said. "But I'm done figuring it out for them," she said. "That's the most grown-up thing I've ever heard you say. It's been about 4 months now. I haven't sent any money. Nobody has asked, which tells me either they've found other solutions, or they're waiting, or both. My relationship with my dad is suspended somewhere between awkward and honest, which is uncomfortable but also more real than it's been in years. My relationship with my stepmom is distant in a way that feels permanent. I think we both know something was said out loud that can't be unsaid. The just for family comment, I'll never forget it. Not because it broke me, but because it finally clarified something. I had been performing belonging for so long that I'd confused the performance with the thing itself. I still go to Fig's vet appointments. I still eat dinner alone most Tuesdays with a podcast on. I still stay late at the office sometimes. None of that has changed. What's changed is smaller and bigger at the same time. I stopped apologizing for having needs. I stopped explaining myself to people who've already decided not to see me. I stopped confusing generosity with love, and I stopped offering one in hopes of getting the other. My cabin reservation receipt from Asheville is still in my email. I look at it sometimes, not to feel righteous, but just to remember that the weekend I decided to take care of myself. The mountains were there, and they were beautiful, and I had a really good glass of wine on that porch. And I didn't need anyone's permission for any of it. A few weeks ago, my dad and I had coffee. In person, first time since the party. It was careful and a little stiff and not fully repaired. I don't think repair is a one coffee thing, maybe not even a 1 year thing. But he said something near the end that I've been sitting with. He said, I think I let things get comfortable in a way that wasn't fair to you. He didn't say sorry. He didn't enumerate what he meant. But it was something. The first something in a long time, I said. I know, I let it happen, Tintu. He looked at me in a way I can't fully describe. Like he was seeing something that surprised him, or maybe something he recognized from a long time ago and had misplaced. We hugged in the parking lot. Stiffly, the way my family hugs, brief and slightly off-center, like we're all a little uncertain of how to hold each other. I drove home. Fig was on the couch. I sat next to her and she tolerated me for approximately 40 seconds before moving to the other cushion. Some things you fix, some things you just renegotiate, and some things you simply stop paying for in every sense of the word, and then you see what's left. I'm still finding out what's left, but I think, slowly, imperfectly, without any confetti emojis, it might be something real.